Good morning, beloveds. Oh, okay. I am awake. I have been out. I've been for a run. It's about 5 degrees cooler today, and it made all the world. All the world. I think the humidity is a little lower too, because yesterday we were working out and it was hot, and Tuesday we went for a run and it was hot, and today we went for a run and it was hot. But so I love running. But there is, yeah, sometimes it's just too hot. Sometimes it is just too hot. All right, it is June 10th, and our title is I Let Life Move Me Forward into Greater Good. The quote from Emerson is, "People wish to be settled. Only as far as they are unsettled is there any hope for them. There are no anchors in my world to fasten me to any one situation forever. I accept the ever-changing, ever-unfolding action of God in my experience. I have faith that life impels me into greater good for myself and for all who comprise my world. I appreciate the past, but it cannot bind me to any person, place, nor thing. It is now a neutralized memory of good, and its knowledge is available to me, but its negative power is gone. No more weeping for what might have been. Today is the day of glory, and tomorrow is alive with the possibilities of creative self-expression. There are no impediments to the divine impulse within me. My consciousness is cleansed and awaits all new ideas with expectancy. These ideas will take me out of the present mediocrities into the heaven of fresh conditions. As I let life move me forward, I find joy on every hand and love in every heart. New friendships, new opportunities, new environment, and new experience appear to be enjoyed and to be praised. I do not miss the patterns from which I have emerged, for greater good is mine today than I have ever known before. I bless the old, but I welcome with open arms the new. I let changes take place in my life. I know they must. I know they will, whether I say yes or no. All changes accepted as a spiritual adventure are for the good, and I now begin the discovery of God in every new condition. Buried in all men is the treasure of the kingdom of God. I seek it, and I find its coffers overflowing with kindness. I have no enemies, for God's friendship comes to me through every relative, co-worker, and contact. I break all chains which bind me and walk free into God's great experience of life. New forms of good come to me, emanate from me, and appear around me today." Oi! All right then. Basically, principle is not bound by precedent, and change is inevitable. So we might as well treat it like a grand adventure. We might as well treat it like a grand adventure. Change is going to happen. Change is going to happen. There is pretty much literally nothing that we can do about that. Because when we try and block change, it builds up and then it kind of explodes all over the place. And then we don't have any chance at guiding the change. So if we let change naturally unfold, then we can guide the change a little bit. That's pretty much what I'm hearing today. It's like, principle is not bound by precedent. We are not bound by our past. We are welcome. We are welcome to let our past go. We take the knowledge, because I like that he said that we take the knowledge. So all of the lessons that we have learned in the past, like all of the times we have screwed up, because Trust me, I have made plenty of mistakes. I get to keep that knowledge, but I can let all of the negativity of it go. And then I can just move forward. And change is gonna happen. It is inevitable. And when we can look at change as a grand adventure, and we let it happen naturally, we have a chance to guide it. Because trust me, when you try and block change, it's gonna build up, and then it's gonna explode all over the place, and then you get to deal with the pieces. So change is gonna happen. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. All right. So I let life move me forward into greater good, because if you've ever read the Chronicles of Narnia, by C.S. Lewis, in the last book, the final battle, I think the last battle, it's either called the last battle or the final battle. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's the last battle. It's further in and further up. And that's what it's like. It's gonna be good. Keep believing that it's gonna be good, that change is good. It is for the good, because it is evolving. The situation is evolving. I let life move me forward into greater good. And Emerson believes people wish to be settled. Only as far as they are unsettled is there any hope for them. Because when they get rooted into place, when they get caught into those ruts, nothing happens. And people wonder why they're unhappy. Okay. I'm not saying you have to uproot yourself and move yourself across the country unless you want to. There's plenty of change happening right where you are, including right within you. Okay, so there are no anchors in my world to fasten me to any one situation forever. I would also say there are no anchors in my world to fasten us to one condition forever. All right? So just because you are dealing with a condition now, you're not anchored to it. It can change. I accept the ever-changing, ever-unfolding action of God in my experience, because that is the nature of God. It is to continue to grow. The nature of God is creative, which means changing. I have faith that life impels me into greater good for myself and for all who comprise my world, which means everyone around me. We're all growing into a greater good. I appreciate the past, but it cannot bind me to any person, place, or thing. So I'm not stuck in the past. I'm not stuck in the past. In fact, I think it's Lao Tzu that says that depression is being stuck in the past. So if you find that you are a little depressed, then it is possible that you are living too much in the past and need to take a look around and see what's going on now. You also may need to go to the doctor and get some help. Depression is nothing to be light about. I will be flippant about it because I have been diagnosed with clinical depression, and I went to the doctor and I went for therapy and I took medication for a couple of years, and now I manage my lifestyle. So, if you are bound to the past to that point, please, take some steps and get some help. There's help out there for you. Okay, so I appreciate the past, but it cannot bind me to any person, place, or thing. It is now a neutralized memory of good, and its knowledge is available to me. So that's like, okay, we've made mistakes, and so we've got the mistakes, we've made the mistakes, we have the knowledge, but we have neutralized, the fear, the shame, the guilt, whatever. We've neutralized it. We have the knowledge, we will carry that forward and move on. So it is now a neutralized memory of good, and the knowledge is available to me, but its negative power is gone. No more weeping for what might have been. Today is the day of glory, and tomorrow is alive with possibilities of creative self-expression. There are no impediments to the divine impulse within me. Statement. It's like, okay, I'm ready. No impediments. My consciousness is cleansed and awaits all new ideas with expectancy. So I'm not binding myself to the past. I have the knowledge, but I'm not binding myself to the past. These ideas will take me out of the present mediocrities into the heaven of fresh conditions. That's a turn of phrase. So these new ideas that I am open to will take me out of the present mediocrity. I mean, if your present is good, then good. You can have more good. And if your present is great, that's good too. You can have more great. But if your present is mediocrity, it can get better. It can get better. And this is how. Into the heaven of fresh conditions. As I let life move me forward, I find joy on every hand and love in every heart. That's one way to look at people. New friendships, new opportunities, new environment, and new experience appear to be enjoyed and to be praised. So, I'm calling them to me. New friends, new opportunities. Like, I am ready to enjoy new. And it's not that I am not happy with the old, but I am also, so I can balance and move forward. Okay? So, I'm ready for, I'm prepared to accept change. I do not miss the patterns from which I have emerged, for the greater good is mine today than I have ever known before. Okay, so I do not miss the patterns from before. Because, well, I do not miss the patterns from before. Because I'm ready to grow into a new pattern. You're ready to grow into a new pattern. And we've learned all that we need from that old pattern, and we're not wishing we could go back. Because we're in a new situation and we get to learn new. I bless the old, but I welcome the new with old. I bless the old, but I welcome with open arms the new. Yep. So it's like, yep, no, I'm glad I had that experience. And now, what am I going to take into this new experience? Everything that I've learned from the old. I let changes take place in my life. I know they must, and I know they will, whether I say yes or no. Okay, change is going to happen, whether you say yes or no. It will go easier if you say yes. All changes accepted as a spiritual adventure are for the good. So, if you can look at change, whether you want it or not, as a spiritual adventure, then the change will be easier for you. That's me being a military brat. I moved a lot. I moved a fair amount and continued into my adult life to move a fair amount and travel a lot. And I always looked at it as an adventure. I always looked at it as an adventure, and it made it easier. It did. It did. New people, it's good. Okay. And I now begin the discovery of God in every new condition. New ways to experience God. That's a good way to look at a change. It's like, okay, this is a new way to experience God. Buried in all people is the treasure of the kingdom of God. I seek it, and I find its coffers overflowing with kindness. If I can look at everyone I meet as a child of God and recognize that within them, they carry the kingdom of heaven. Now, they don't carry my kingdom of heaven. They carry their kingdom of heaven. I carry my kingdom of heaven right within me. But I know that they have a kingdom of heaven. And I know that they're a child of God. Then I can meet them on a different level. I have no enemies, for God's friendship comes to me through every relative, coworker, and contact. Say that to yourselves. Some days when you go to work and you don't want to work with your coworkers, because we all have those days, you just think that. I have no enemies, for God's friendship comes to me through every relative, coworker, and contact. Might make it a little easier sometimes when you're dealing with that relative that you're just like, I'd really rather not. Okay? God's peace. I break all chains which bind me and walk free into God's great experience of life. Chains that bind me to a pattern, chains that bind me to the past, chains that bind me at all. I walk free. It's like, nope, I'm moving into the new. I'm moving into the new experience. I am taking what I have learned, but I'm leaving all the nonsense behind. New forms of good come to me, emanate from me, and appear around me today. Change is inevitable, people. It's going to happen. And if we can accept it with grace, if we can look at it as a spiritual adventure, then it will be easier. It will be easier. All right, so that's our mission today. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to accept change, all changes, as a spiritual adventure and a new way to discover God, a new way to experience God. That's the mission today. It's the mission every day, but that's the particular mission today. And as always, I encourage you to do I encourage you to do something loving for yourself, to do something kind for yourself, to do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like today. If that means standing in front of the air conditioner for a little bit longer, because yeah, it's summer. It is definitely summer. We're coming up on the longest day of the year. I think we've got about 10 days. I think it's June 21st, so we're coming close. It's the longest day of the year. I mean, look at that. Change is inevitable. Every day, the sun comes up at a slightly different time, goes down at a slightly different time. Change is inevitable. So look at it as the adventure. Look at it as the adventure. I encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like today. But I also remind you, you're allowed to rest. All right? And drink some water. Definitely drink some water. Notice how I'm not encouraging you to open your windows anymore, because if you live where I do, oh, no thank you. The air conditioner is running at 7 o'clock in the morning. No opening the windows. But please do get some fresh air. Please take care of yourself, because you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. That is the state of grace that we live in. It is the state of grace that we live in. So, and no one deserves your kindness, your compassion, or your love more than you. So practice on yourself. It's a good place to practice. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move into the process of my day. I'm pretty sure it's Thursday. I'm a little off kilter. So if it is Thursday, that means that there is a prayer circle tonight led by practitioners John and Marissa. So if you're interested in that, that's done on Telebridge, which is a phone conferencing app. Email info@creativelife.org to get that information. I know Reverend David will be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back on Facebook Live with you at 10 a.m. I am a little bit behind on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is The Running Rev Ryan. But I will make an effort to catch up tonight. It's hot. I'm tired. But I went to bed early last night. Early. Okay. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And please open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right now. They said it today. Everyone carries their kingdom of heaven right there within themselves. So allow that breath of heaven to remind you where it is. That it's right here within you. It's right here all around you right now. All right, beloveds. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to make it a great day, a fantastic day, a wonderful day. And if that's too much, just a good day. All right? And I will see you tomorrow. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day.